Well, look what I found. Welcome back, and I'm going to show you some information. I mean, I have received a secret email, so let's go back for a quick update. And now I'm going to show you the level of margin accounts levels at the Federal Reserve in the record high. Check the number we are having now, and I'm going to share with you the secret email I received. It's going to be very interesting. This is in millions of dollars, and we are in a record high 600 billion US dollars in margin account and broker level. So flying pigs 360 everywhere. This reminds me the warning call by Michael Burry, and I'm going to show you more information what is going on with Bitcoin and Cyber and World War III, my view on that in a few seconds. What's going on? We are going to get distracted. Let's start with precious metals, and I warn you that it looks very bad, but if you check the charts and if you forget about Russia, nothing is happening in the gold and silver market. We have this cup and handle formation, wow, blah blah blah. And if you check silver, let me know if you see from June of 2021 up to now, you can see that it's really no action in the silver market, only a channel and sideways movement, no real action. And if you check the price of gold from a objective point of view, and if you get some surprise piece, you see that there is no real action in the gold and silver market. So it's like the gold and silver market is not pricing anything by now. But if you check some other charts, you will see that I going back here. This is the Federal Reserve charts. This is all the market expectations in this chart. If you check here, you will see that the market is pricing very aggressive rate hikes for a 3% coming in a few months. This is extremely high, very high. I'm going to go to the secret email, but I need to talk about something else, otherwise I will get banned. So you have all the Federal Reserve interest rate coming with. Now we are now around here, and the market is pricing that by the next year we will be hitting 3% or very close to that. This is what the markets are pricing now. So if this happens, all the bonds in Europe, all the prime quality will be destroyed. This is what will happen. So now I'm going to give you some hints, and so you can arrive to the same conclusions by yourself. So remember this chart, because it will create enormous pressure in the US dollar. We will see flying pigs. We have the food shortage being pumped up, being mentioned by lots of people. This is real. We've been warning about food in this channel from November of last year, when nobody was talking about that was coming, because we were seeing all the pressure coming there. And we already all the conspiracy theories, you will own no food and be happy stories, kind of on the charts. Everything was warning for increasing food shortage from last year. So if you check all the videos we made last year, we were warning in advance about the explosion in lumber, the explosion in food, and we also warned about the high of Bitcoin in the first hit almost to the target using Fibonacci levels. So now we are warning you about something different. While we are being distracted with Ukraine, they are back with the social credit, health passport, all that in the app. You will be controlled like hell, the credit scoring, or maybe something that is an innocent way, a very important tool to make some health policies internationally. It's your choice. Ukraine has launched the DIA application which has everything inside the application, from administrative procedures, paying taxes, renew the identity papers, social benefits, or COVID part, all in one app. So you have there Ukraine moving forward with that. Now I'm going to give you more hints because I may get banned. In the past, I have been talking about the CBDC structure that was very well explained by the BIS, the Bank of International Settlements in Switzerland. In this paper I published in the past tweets, the paper is called Digital Currencies and the Future of the Monetary System. This is written by the general manager, and this is one of most innovative, most impressive papers I have seen about the future architecture. It means that we have maybe 1 or 2 tiers deposits in central banks, holding central bank digital currencies, the concept of privacy created by tokens controlled by the retail banks or maybe governments, the 2 level of access. This is a very important paper, and is pointing that maybe deposits should be held at the central bank for avoiding cybersecurity risk and better policies. So follow me with more hints. Now I'm taking you to the Bank of England. In June, this was before that paper. This paper was in August of 2000. This is January of 2021, and few months later, the Bank of England launched the idea of programmable cryptocurrency money, programmable CBDCs. If you check that, it means that essentials will be allowed to spend the money and the rest will not, or the money will have expiration dates. So we are heading there. There is quite emotion in the cryptocurrency market, especially Bitcoin, because now we have Bitcoin that is resolving all the issues with the Lightning Network. This is giving hope for the cryptocurrency community, but this is more the most stationary part. What is the level of margin levels in the cryptocurrency markets? I still don't know. One of the first guys to warn about the flying pigs was Michael Burry, the big short guy. So if you check assume that we have no war in Russia, with Russia and Ukraine, and they find peace in a few months. Assume that there is no more drama to keep this game going up. There are some supply chain issues, but you have the massive money printing and have very important high risk, but it's not being priced by gold or silver. You check the monthly charts. They are not warning for a big explosion, but I believe that all the risks are on the upside. So I'm staying somehow warning that. So going back to all the apps, this is from December, and you have the NHS. This is UK, an app. They are preparing to collect data on mental health, social circumstances, political opinion, lifestyles. This is England. This is UK, all in one app. This is the right to work, the identity for giving you the right to work or the right to rent. They are keep making moves. They are advancing while being distracted with Ukraine. The idea of controlling people, credit scoring, manner, keeping all in check. This is going forward, and this is as far as calling mental health conditions and the ability to create scoring all in one app. So they keep making movements, and this is the secret email I received. This here is the email. Says, "Hi Algo, I didn't want to post this on Twitter, but it's very important to be aware of it. Please see the attached." And this anon sent me an international treaty coming based in Europe, and this is all about the program on money. In the past, I've been warning about the digital architecture in the health organization being backed by Gates Foundation and Rockefeller Foundation. They're all in the same team, promoting from the World Health Organization a digital architecture. I warned in my Twitter account, and I may found that. Maybe I will publish later. So all the World Health Organization is creating this architecture, and the international banks and central banks are creating and enabling this idea of centralizing all the information in one app with cryptocurrencies, digital currencies, social controls, and at the same time we are seeing a very nasty scenario of very aggressive rate hikes now being priced by the market, being confirmed by the Federal Reserve with action and being back. So, and the flying pigs are out there. So food prices are real, and it looks like this chart is no way to stop. So we check all the information, and the secret mail says it has an image attached to it that says, anyone heard of their plan? The WHO, the World Health Organization, wants countries to sign a new treaty in only about 2 months. This was sent to me by an anonymous guy. This treaty will have the World Health Organization constitution take precedence over a country's constitution. This means that the World Health Organization will be controlling health policies to all the countries signing this treaty that is coming immediately, very close. We are now in March, so this has 2 months to go. And I checked the link, and the international treaty is right there. International Treaty of Pandemic Prevention and Preparedness. So the countries will have to follow orders from the World Health Organization, and they will be giving their health sovereignty to all the world international entities. So if you check this, what is happening here, you see that we have a food crisis, potential crisis, famine crisis, increasing predictions, especially in the north of Africa. You need social control tools compared with that. At the same time, you see that the pricing of all the precious metals are not warning of a crazy run up in the market, and we only see that in food prices, and we are only seeing that in some specific commodities linked to the geopolitical risks. So the risks are on the upside for some commodities. Somehow silver is not really pricing so far this action. Will we have a crisis where all the food prices will continue to go up, but gonna see we won't follow? That could be a possibility. So I believe that the only thing that will keep me interested in silver is as soon as they go way above this level that I hear, and the level of silver should go above this level, which is 27.8. This is the real place. This is the area where we warn me that silver we're going to exploit like the rest of the commodities. So far it's not happening. We have all these architectures being built. What happens if a new virus shows up, like a hemorrhagic fever show up lately in the UK? What happens with commodities again? Why is not gold and silver pricing anything? Is it that because the new rate hike cycle is coming and very hard? Is it because the margin debts are here? I believe that the risks are from both sides, and the war should escalate. Some sources are telling that the escalation will come next month because NATO is placing 10,000 troops in Poland, and they will send them all to Ukraine to provoke Russia. So if that happens, we will see a confirmation, and silver should go way above 27 27.7 to give a real signal that everything will explode. So there is multiple scenarios. What happens if the new virus shows up? What happens with the rate hikes? The marginal debt levels will create deflationary pressures. At the same time, we have a crisis in the food prices, a supply demand unbalance there. And at the same time, we have monetary interest that could create some deflation. The Fed is already giving signals that will do and they will take action. Bitcoin is showing so far more strength than the precious metals. So I believe that if we are going to see craziness, Bitcoin will, cryptocurrency will be ahead of precious metals, will be far ahead in my case, because the money has to go somewhere. If we are going to see that everything goes up, cryptocurrencies will lead precious metals. This is quite the reason I believe I was making this video, because I am convinced that cryptocurrencies will go higher, will go faster than silver or gold. If they need to control the inflation, they will target rates and gold at the same time. So the only signal that will be giving that silver will go faster is as soon as they break this second resistance between 27.7 and 28.7. This is the key area I should wait to forecast an explosion in silver. Last year I warned in advance that everybody should not work between these vertical lines I will draw here. This area was even making concerts that nobody should buy silver around here. I was making live concert calling the silver furious layer, hashtag silver furious layer, warning the people not to buy silver here. We have the crash, we warn about the loss of silver between 24 around here, the middle of the last year, middle of the last years. Sorry, this was last year. I was warning here. Sorry, this was 1 year in advance. This was the last show here, and we warned here in advance. So it was very hard to predict this scenario. We have geopolitical risk, food and supply risk, food supply demand risk, crude oil in problems. The petrodollar has begun now because Russia is demanding payment in rubles, and all these risks are warning that we are seeing multiple scenarios coming up, so it's extremely difficult. But for sum it up, the case for higher food prices is very, very solid. We should see what happens as soon as the market receives more real action from the Federal Reserve. A 0.5 rate hike in May should be the next test to see what happens with the market. Silver is stuck in 25 like it was in years, so it's like silver is not reacting to World War III, like nothing is happening there. So we should wait there if you want to give a crazy scenario. And the case of S&P 500, they have a correction, but so far they have 2 weeks of recovery, and the real scenario is that if the time is Jim Cramer showed up saying that the bear market is over, but we should see what happens in May with the market. What happens in May? Next month we have the Russia escalation or not, and we have the next month the increasing rate hikes cycle, and see what happens with the market. The S&P has a future of going up, because if everything starts to keep going higher, sorry, all the money in the bond market should go to the S&P 500, commodities and crypto. So the rotation will come. United States is doing the same thing that Argentina did in the past. It could control the debt for some time, but they failed in the past. So the cycle is there. No, I can't say anymore about. And maybe this will continue to go. They are continue to centralize all the information wallets. Maybe I won't post about this anymore. Sorry. Yes. So they are coming for the new central bank digital currency network linked with social credit scoring, with programmable money, and maybe with new international policies controlled by central entities. And deposits maybe won't be in your bank, will be in your central bank or an international central bank, of course. So what we do? What should we do? For the case of silver, we should wait for a strong signal about 27.7. The case of Bitcoin is very strong. Bitcoin is giving the signal that they will go back to test new record highs. I'm convinced now that cryptocurrencies will get new record highs. I'm very convinced now because they have solved all the issues. Bitcoin is giving the signal they will go back to the record highs, to the 57 level K on this area here. This is the area Bitcoin is targeting, and it looks so far very healthy. So I believe that Bitcoin will go ahead of gold and silver. So we have multiple things, drivers for Black Swan events. Russia, NATO plans from next month. Also, Martin Armstrong is warning from the week of April 18 to check that. Everything is his predictions and his forecasts are matching the charts. It's amazing. This guy Martin Armstrong from Armstrong Economics, I respect him. There are some guys saying that he's a scammer, but he's always correct when he gives all the forecast. So I'm a reader from him. I read of him. And what looks really healthy is the weekly chart for Bitcoin. It really looks very healthy. And you see that we have multiple targets. We have increasing social controls, new CBDCs coming. We have a Bitcoin chart that's giving signal that it's going to go up at the same time, and much more. So tomorrow I'll be recording a new course for Spain, and later I will be sending more information to all of you from my Spanish audience tomorrow. The price of crude oil received a very nasty punishment if you check the price of crude oil, but so far the charts are recovering and not giving signals they are going to stop. When the price of the crude oil was reversing to more average levels, it quickly go up. So it means that crude oil could test the record highs next month, and this is matching all the forecasts made by Martin Armstrong and the warnings and the news going that the NATO could send troops to Ukraine. That is a red line from Russia. So we have to see what happens if they deactivate all the geopolitical noise and they increase interest rates. We could see the flying pigs getting slaughtered. This is the second most important scenario. The flying pigs 360 getting slaughtered as Michael Burry won in the past. So how the volatility will increase next month, and next month will be higher, very higher. In Argentina, we are seeing that increase in poverty will increase from 400,000 people, and the minimum level of inflation will be between 57% this year, maybe 59%. So this is the level here in inflation, and they are promoting for the petro ruble a two-tier monetary system, a two-tier, one a domestic ruble and an international ruble, used for payments, to give confidence in the domestic market in Russia for the use of the ruble. This could be a good idea because they are promoting a petro ruble backed by gold in Russia for domestic use. The problem we have here with the two-tier monetary system is that you have winners and losers. The first winners, if you have a cheap US dollar domestically, is that we have a cheap dollar for importers and we have expensive dollar for savings. So this creates some problems, asymmetric benefits in different industries, and this is the first, and maybe some important opportunities, of course, for these areas that are receiving benefits and subsidies from having a two-tier monetary system. So here the big winners are the importers that tend to create more sales than they really have to access the wide market in US dollar, and we have the savers who only can access to 200 US dollar per month because we have capital controls here in Argentina, and this is what they are promoting as a solution for the Central Bank of Russia, a petrodollar backed by a petro ruble backed by gold for domestic use, and a different petro ruble with floating in the market, in the open markets. So far now Russia is completely closed from the international market, but this should go back, they should reopen all the access to Russia to continue selling in Europe. There is one trick: they could use India, and from India you could sell all the gas, all the sales from India to back to Europe. This has already happened in the past with when all the mess was created with ISIS. They were selling all the energy business through Turkey and Israel, and they used Turkey and Israel as proxy, and the money kept moving back to Syria for funding ISIS. So Russia will find the proxy sellers, and the market will continue at a higher cost, but it will continue from transactional point of view for Europe. But Russia should get a discount to reroute all the energy sales to India, or maybe China reroute all the sales. But they have to keeping all the energy to Europe, and they are forcing Russia not to accept. They don't want to accept rubles for the energy sales. So there are too many questions, but the fact is that if you want to check that and make it simple, wait for a signal in 27.7 for silver, and for the case of Bitcoin, the signal should be what happens with Bitcoin, the same level, which is now 61 for me. 61. Too many signals are happening now, and we have to keep controlling that. This is a second level. We have 46k, around 46. This is a first area. We have the first area, so we are pretty close for more signals going high for Bitcoin. I'm very bullish now for Bitcoin. I believe they will continue to go up. They continue to go up. So let's see what happens with the 47k for Bitcoin, and later the 61k. It's between 57 and 61k. This is the key level for Bitcoin, an explosion. I remember when I predicted that Bitcoin was going to 57k in the past, when it was much more lower. Bitcoin 57k, big fishes was the name of the bid. And I used Fibonacci extension that works pretty well, very impressive. And the next target above 57k was 80k. That was the next level for cryptocurrencies. If Bitcoin goes above its record high, the next level is around 85, 86k. So this is a lot higher. But if Bitcoin fails in the around 47k, this will be that they're going to get destroyed. I don't believe so, but this could happen too. And I will be talking more about all these central bank digital currencies and much more, because I have to focus on the algorithmic trading in cryptocurrencies, in precious metals, and that will be my scope from now, or maybe some news about the market. But the politically incorrect stuff will be over, because I'm getting very high risk of getting censored, because I was banned. I had a video about Operation Trust, and YouTube banned that video. So I have the warning, and they didn't want me to talk about Operation Trust at the US elections, and I have a warning. I can show you I have the warning. So I can talk about a lot of stuff here. All the YouTubers are heading for Rumble, BitChute, and the other competitive platforms. I'm still betting YouTube will handle the increasing reputational risks, and they won't ban me for all the things I have mentioned about the increasing social controls, credit score, international treaties about health policies, Orwellian stuff. So it was my contribution to the topic. But I will keep from now focus on algorithmic trading, personal finance, and that's it. So I hope you enjoy that. I'm going to launch more personal finance courses, first in Spanish for Spain, and later I will be launching some contents for the English talking audience, maybe in a few months. So if you like all this information, do the stuff you should do, and thank you very much.